This is the button I need to press, and we go here. Hello, everybody. How's it going? Today, we are going to start working on an enemy AI template. I put a poll up this morning, at some point, and I asked the community, what are we doing on stream tonight? How fast can I make Brick Break, which would just essentially be the next stage of the 20 game challenge, finish the rocket launcher, or start on enemy AI. And I think pretty much most people want to see enemy AI because I don't think it's much something that many people talk about. And to be honest, I haven't done much with enemy AI either. So today's the day that we start. Shit. My chat's not showing up on my OBS, which is a bit of a bummer. But anyway, okay, now it's working. Interestingly, one of the very first videos that I ever published on my channel, if I go oldest, is making an evil AI. So 3 years ago, I started I published a devlog essentially looking at enemy AI, and I had done a lot of good work in that video. I think I was pretty happy with how things looked, but basically from that point onwards, I never really even touched AI. And to be honest, I do have a tendency to avoid putting it in my games because it's hard, So, but today we procrastinate no longer. And we get started. So I've got literally a blank canvas here. I'm going to save this as just like a test world where we can do everything. We'll call this one world. That's all we need for that. And I suppose probably the easiest thing for me to do is, as a starting point, bring in my FPS template, which I'm going to do. Open File Manager, because it's just kind of nice to have something to begin with. Now, we just want these three. I don't think we need anything else. Hopefully this won't break. We'll just let that import. Disable FBX and restart. I somehow have FBX files in this template. I really shouldn't. So this will give us a nice place to sort of start looking at, we'll do it from a first-person perspective, so it'll be a first-person shooting enemy AI, not anything else. So the enemies, most likely, they'll need to, find cover, they'll need to be able to shoot and chase the player, I guess. We'll start there as a basis, and then we'll work up from that. So now that we've got that, I probably don't need this test world, because I've got a test world to work in under objects world. Right? So we can sort of use this as the basis for our enemy AI, which is great. So I'll just hit run and it'll ask me to select the current. Just make sure everything's working. Obviously we don't have the keybinds, so I probably should have just copied the old project and set it up. But to begin with, I think it's just like up, down, left, right. And we'll just input those so that we can move around at the very least. Whoops. Do that one. And we'll do right. Now, if I've named them correctly, everything should work out. Let's just double check that in the script. All the way down into the process function, really. Let's have a look here. We've got UI accept, left, right, up, down. So that should be fine. We should be able to jump because it's still UI accept. Yeah, cool. I don't know about shooting. It's still giving me a bunch of errors because I haven't set up all the other inputs. So yeah, I should really have just copied the project, regrets. I always do this. Weapon up, weapon down, shoot, reload, drop underscore weapon, What else is there? Melee, crouch. Okay, yep. Melee, lowercase for crouch. Surely we should have enough there. Actually, we'll make weapon up 2 and weapon down 1. Shoot, we can just make it the left mouse button, and reload is R. No, okay, all right. G. Melee is F and crouch is C. We're not going to have sprint. I'm going to assume that's got a uppercase. Could be wrong. Make it shift. Okay, surely we've got most of them now. Still missing a few. But other than that, we're looking pretty good. Oh my god. So many still. Lean left, lean right. Sprint. All right, we'll add that in. It's very important to get these right. Walk doesn't exist. Surely. What else could we need at this point? Okay, that feels good. Feels kind of laggy. I was having problems before I started streaming. I don't know if I'm having issues. If the stream looks weird, let me know. Yeah, I think we're good to go. So, enemies. How do we do them? I don't know. That is really the crux of it. We're just going to need something to represent it to begin with. So I'm going to start by just adding a node, enemy. We'll save it. We'll create a new folder called enemy. We'll save it. Just call it enemy. Yep, that works just fine. And let's see. We will need a capsule. I think will work best. So I'll create a, well, actually, I've already made my first mistake where I made this a node 3D and I should be calling it a character body 3D because it will need to be a character body. And then I just need a mesh instance. We're not going to do anything fancy with the animations. We're just going to do a capsule because what else really do we need? And a collision shape. And that can also just be a capsule. And I'll pull it up a little bit. And the thing is, we'll give it a gun. Well, we'll give it something that represents a gun, which will just be another mesh instance that sticks out of it. And this will just be a cube. Feels like I'm not speaking into this 100%. Let me just turn this up so I can hear myself a bit better. Cool. No, not a cylinder. Well, it could be a cylinder. That would be fine. Let's make it a cylinder. Turn it on its side. It's way too big. And it's a little bit too long. Okay, that's fine. We can just pull that off to the side, and we'll just imagine that the weapon is shot from there. I'll create a marker 2D. Marker 3D, I should say, just to stick it at the end. We probably won't get to that straight away, but when it does shoot, we want it to come from there. So we'll run with that. Just grab that and put it as close to the center of that as possible. It's not super important right now. Okay, so now we have the basics. How do you actually make this thing move? We're going to need a visual It's like a path, I think it's called. And I'll give it a material. Always give them like a red tinge. New standard material. Yeah, shading. Albedo will make it, well, not pink. Red. Right. So that we can clearly know that it's an enemy. Okay. So in the world, we'll need to create a navigation mesh. Navigation region. They keep changing the name of all this stuff. And we want to put our level inside the navigation region and then just bake the mesh. Navigation mesh resource must be set or created. Okay. We need to create, and now we can create the mesh. And these are all the places where the enemy could theoretically walk. You'll notice that it sits a little bit above the world, which is, I think, the normal. We'll see how it looks. It might not look quite right. I mean, we're going to give them gravity, so it's probably fine. But that's sort of the starting point. It's giving us a warning. I don't think it needs to. No, it doesn't. Okay, so we've got that. Now, the enemies will need a reference to this, but we'll work on that in a second. We'll give this guy a script, and it can just be called enemy. It inherits character body 3D. I don't know if I want it to take the basic movement script. I think hang on, wrong button. I'll create it, and then we can just remove everything except for move and slide and direction. So like direction times speed, because we want there to be a direction, but we're going to get that from somewhere else. So we don't really need to take input, and right now it doesn't really need to jump. It's going to get gravity input. Okay, well, let's just comment that out for now. Actually, I don't need this at all. Just make it 0, so it won't do anything. Cool. Alrighty. So let's have a look at, man, Firefox is really stuffing up today. Anyway, let's have a look at jump velocity, gravity. All right, fine. So if I brought this into the project, I'd just expect him to fall. Where's my enemy? And let's just raise him up so we can see that gravity is working. Yep. And he's there. He doesn't do anything at the moment. He's just there. So his layer is going to matter. He wants to be on the world layer for sure. If we look at the player, it's going to be pretty similar. So it masks the world layer, but there's a second layer, which is the player layer. So he's going to want to mask the world layer. He probably is going to, do we want it to collide with enemies? To collide with the player, I suppose. That could just be a design choice. You might want to be able to walk through your enemies. It just really depends on what you want. So now he should still hit the world, but we can push him around a little bit, which is fun because he doesn't mask the world layer. Okay, so that doesn't really change much for us, but we do need to allow the enemy to get access to the navigation region, and then there's a whole bunch of stuff that we need to do for that as well. So let's get into it. I think I need to add a navigation agent. I forget how this is done. Nav. Navigation obstacle, navigation link, a link between two positions, no. Navigation agent. A 3D agent used to pathfind a position while avoiding obstacles. So we add that. And this is what gets us all the information. and it looks on navigation layer 1. I'm pretty sure that's all we need to do. And then we can just get reference to that, and we should be able to start getting information about... this is marked as experimental still. It's been experimental for a while now. Okay, so let's have a look. Hey, how's it going, Eli? Hope you're having a good morning. It's evening for me. A 3D agent used to pathfind. Yes, that's what exactly we are looking for. Dynamic obstacles are avoided using RVO collision avoidance, so the enemies won't run into each other. After setting a target position, the property get next path position. So basically, get next path position method must be used once every physics frame to update the internal path logic. So that's basically what we're going to be calling to understand where to go. So the vector position it returns should be used as the next movement position. Hey, Sir Pigeon the First, how are ya? Sir Pigeon. The vector position it returns should be used as the next movement position. Okay, cool. All right, so is avoidance enabled on this thing? Include RADs, include avoidance enabled. In past testing, I've found that to be quite good. So it will, you can add lots of enemies and they won't run into each other. We are creating an enemy AI template that we can use in our projects so that we can have enemies to fight against in our FPS game. So we're going to be using the navigation agent to, I believe the thing is you get the target position and then you get next path position, and then there's a signal. Avoidance comes with a couple of, if you ask me, state machine. Yes, we will need a state machine. I'm going to start with the basic avoidance, comes with a couple of downsides. Okay. What kind of downsides? I've only tested it as in I brought a bunch of AIs into a world and then set them up to wander around aimlessly, and then they all ran into each other eventually. And if I enabled avoidance, then it worked better. What avoidance in the navigation agent is, it basically double checks safe velocity. I can't remember. It's explained here. Let me just bring it up. If true, the agent is registered for an RVO avoidance callback on the navigation server 3D. When velocity is set and the processing is complete, a safe velocity vector 3 is received with a signal connected to the velocity computed. So it's probably more computationally heavy. Avoidance processing with many registered agents has a significant performance cost that currently require it. So like, at least, so based on reading that, you probably don't want to have it turned on unless you feel like it absolutely needs to be turned on. Although, to be honest, when I did the test, this was during Godot 4 beta, I did a test with a ton of enemies and I didn't notice performance cost, but it was also a very simple scene. So I don't know. It could be, but we'll leave that turned off based on what they're saying here. So thanks for pointing that out, Brutal. Okay, so we need to get the distance to target. We want to get the path. So basically, we'll start with something really basic and build it up. We're in a target position. So I'm going to start really simple and create a function that just gives us a random point at a distance. Get random target. I am the author of this FPS template, yes. And I'm making an AI template, yes, Rocky. The people have spoken. Get random point. So I'm just gonna create a function here that's gonna return a random vector 3. There are authors around. There are author around template. I don't understand what you're saying, Sir Pigeon. This could honestly be a vector 2. Oh, thank you. Yeah. I've got an entire video if you want to watch on how to make it, or you can just download it and play with it. So the idea is to create an enemy AI template that can be used on its own or be plugged into that. That's the goal ultimately, but you never know. I might not be able to make it. I'm going to get a random point. Random point. And it'll be a vector 3. Oh my God, I can't type today. And it'll just be equal to vector 3 dot 0 to begin with. And then we'll return that just to make this thing happy. Okay, so there's stuff going on. The avoidance does work as intended and isn't as in performance intense as you might think, but using it for, let's say, colliding enemies will cause unexpected behavior like enemies flying or getting stuck. Okay, what does an author of a template mean? Do you have owner rights for this template? Yes, I do have owner rights. I mean, it's MIT licensed, so it's open source. You can buy a version of it if you are feeling extra generous, but for the sake of this, I will link to you the FPS template that they are talking about. Okay, so we're going to get a random point. And this is just going to get, so it's just going to be like random point is equal to, player position, no, not player position, enemy AI position. Probably want to know where that is, and then just add to that, right? So it'll just be the global position. And then the random point will equal the global, will be equal to the AI position. It's not happy. Okay, no, okay. Plus, so actually, you know what? I've done this in the past. You go like a vector 3 and you pass in the X and the Z need to be random, and then the Y just needs to be the AIY. Can't someone copy it? Can you sue them? No, Sir Pigeon, it's MIT licensed. It's open source. You could take a copy of that and sell it if you wanted to, and it would not be illegal. So that's open source for you. So the license on that is fully MIT. I won't use Firefox because Jesus, it is clunking. I don't know what's going on with it. Holy crap. Something wrong. We'll go to Brave because that is the stream browser, and we'll go to GitHub/Shafnir/Godot for FPS template. So perhaps you don't know, which is fine. MIT license, which means permission is granted free of charge to any person obtaining a copy of this software and associated documentation. So to deal with the software without restriction, including without limitation to the right of use, copy, modify, merge, publish, distribute, sublicense, and or sell copies of this software, and to permit persons to whom the software is furnished to do so. And I make no liability, essentially. That's basically what this means. You can do whatever you want with it. I'm not responsible. The software is provided as is without warranty of any kind. So that's the MIT license. It's very common for open source software to be under MIT. Godot is under MIT. So you could take Godot and you could completely repackage it, slap a different skin on it, and sell it. So, you know, maybe you could, I mean, if you were like a bad person, you could totally do that. And there would not be any kind of legal recourse for that because it's a part of the license, which is pretty cool. I think there is a couple of like people that have made modifications to the Godot engine. I want to say RPG in a Box. Have you guys heard of that? you're not a bad person. Then, yeah, you wouldn't do something like that. And to be clear, I don't think it would make you a bad person, but you could technically just sell Godot on a website for unsuspecting people that didn't know it wasn't free. Like, I don't know. Maybe they have some licensing against their actual branding. I'm not too sure, but like theoretically, you could sell Godot on your own website if you wanted to. RPG in a Box, I believe, is built on Godot, and you can buy it. But it's got a bunch of extensions. It's not just Godot repackaged, so you can buy on Steam. How much is it? $42. It's pretty expensive. But I'm sure it does more than Godot does. I honestly don't know, but dude, what do people say about it? Very positive. So people seem to like it. It's probably fine. The fact that it's built on Godot is kind of nice. 42 is mad. Hey, MacTap, how's it going? $42 is expensive. I wouldn't never pay that much money for an engine. I think, how much is RPG Maker? It's like more expensive, right? That is a lot of money. I think it runs on Android though. So like, I think maybe they probably do a fair bit of it, Android stuff. I don't know, to be honest, but it's too much for me. I'll stick with Godot for free. Anyway, we are getting a random point. So range. Random point. We want AI position dot x plus rand f range from let's say like 5 to 10, and then the y will just be AI position dot y. This is probably like the messiest way that I could possibly do this, and we'll do the exact same thing to the z. Good enough. Cool. All right. So we've got a random point that we can use with the navigation agent. And what we'll do, 3 metal slug claims. Yeah, it's a lot. Get closest point. Oh, okay, they've got like a thing for it. Let's scroll up. I think I said at the start that I actually haven't done much with AI. So this is probably my first time diving into the code for navigation agents in depth. Navigation server 3D.map get closest point. Oh, is it just like, the navigation server? Let's have a look. Oh, not online docs. Search help navigation server 3D. I haven't even looked at the, I have never looked. I followed you on Twitter ages ago. It's always fun to put a face to the Twitter account. Oh, okay, awesome. I don't post much to Twitter these days. I never really understood Twitter. Yeah. Or X as it's called these days. Okay, navigation is a server that handles navigation maps. Yeah, cool. Okay, so there's a function. Brutal has pointed me towards a function called get closest point. I follow you? Oh, that's awesome. Returns the point closest to the provided 2 point on the navigation mesh surface. Huh. Map get closest point to owner. That's pretty cool. There's so many things. Dude, that's so much here. Map create. Map is active. Oh my goodness. I'm overwhelmed. Let's get back to simple land. Okay. So I'm going to create a function. Half of them are for avoidance. Oh, okay. So essentially by ticking avoidance, I'm just like accessing, there's probably a bunch of stuff that's just automatically going in that same exact navigation server. Okay. I'm going to add a timer. This is just, I'm going to make it walk around randomly, essentially, just to test things out. Get the movement looking the way I like it. It's a one shot, it's auto start. We're going to do it every 5 seconds, and we're going to connect that signal up to the enemy, and on timeout, it's going to get a random point, and then it's going to go for a walk, essentially. So var point target, and then I think I can go navigation agent set target. What's the function? Distance to target? No. Target position, target desired, is target reachable, distance to target. God damn. Target position. After setting the target, set target position. I probably just go target position equals, right? I don't need to use the function. Get random point. Okay, and then it can just go. And then what do I need to call after that? I need to call, is air resistance for jumping a thing in Godot? I can't find a tutorial around adding air resistance. Air resistance, I mean, yeah, you can do it. I don't, but like you just need to program it yourself. It's not built in. But absolutely. I think if you did it with physics, then yes, because you could use an area 3D to simulate that. So if you go to like an area 3D, then you've actually got like a set of parameters for wind. And then on the rigid body, I'm guessing rigid bodies are affected by that. I've actually never tested it. I don't know. Yeah, probably. I'm guessing they would be. Test it. It's the only way to find out. Delete, delete. Okay. Back on track. Get next path position must be used every physics frame to update the internal path logic. And then I'm pretty sure there's a signal called velocity computed that we can use to actually get the velocity value, and we just set that to be the okay. So we've got a target. I probably need to go var target. What are we going to call it? AI target. Target point. I'm really bad with naming variables. It's going to be a vector 3. And it's going to be just equal to vector 3.0. Actually, not 0, because it's going to want to walk over to that. I'm going to set it to the global position to begin with. I don't know about any tutorials on air resistance. But yeah, like I said before, I'm pretty sure you could find one. All right, see you later, Sir Pigeon. We are back in global position. I don't know why that's not coming up. Okay. So we've got the velocity, and in the you go move and slide. That's fine. Get rid of all that for now. So basically, I'm just going to get, what is it? Navigation agent dot get next path position. Making sure that there are no static objects in the way. If the agent does not have it will return the position. The use of this function once every physics frame is required to update the internal path function. Yep. So we got to call that. And then this is going to return a safe velocity. I'm pretty sure this is all we need to get something really basic up and running. We'll build it up from there. Print orphan nodes. I just want to print. I just want to see what the safe velocity is going to be. And then I want to set the velocity, which is an internal variable for the character body, to be the safe velocity. And then everything should just happen. I think. Let's see. We're about to find out. Hey, it's not happy because it's no longer falling. So I turned off gravity. Let's turn gravity back on. What you gonna do? Probably nothing, eh? Did I set the condition is inside true? Yeah. He's not moving. The timer. Did I set the timer up properly? One shot auto start. What am I missing? Okay, using navigation agents. I'll give up. Give me the docs. On navigation, I use velocity computed? Yes, I did hook up that signal. So I hooked that up there. I don't know if I'm triggering it properly. That is going to be the thing to check. God, I don't know what's going on with Firefox today. It's lagging like crazy. I'm going to close it. I don't know what's going on. Brave it is. Okay. You know what? I don't think I've set up the agent properly. The helper combine pathfinding. Okay, 2D versions of navigation or agent. New navigation automatically join the default navigation map. I think they're meant to be child. Navigation optional and not hard requirement to use navigation system. Okay. Can we replace with scripts and direct calls to the navigation server API? Okay, fair enough. The results of the pathfinding can be influenced by the following. I actually think it needs to be a child of the navigation region, right? And the path return is empty. Common problems. Avoidance enabled. Velocity computed. Must be connected to receive the safe velocity calculation result. Blah, 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 blah. Set velocity, yada, yada, yada. Okay. Did I learn GD script using documents? I mean, I learned from tutorials, but these days I mostly just use documentation. Because I don't think that signal's not even firing. So nothing's even happening. Right? Navigation. And the target position actually should just be called... What tutorials? I used Heartbeast when I was starting, but that was a long time ago. On the ready. So now I'm getting another error. Physics price navigation query failed because it was made before the map synchronization. Whoops. That's okay. We just wait. Yeah, I can give you Heartbeast's channel link. He's really good. Let me just go to this. Heartbeast is the original Godot tutorial giver. He's taught many people. He's, yeah, by far the best. In my opinion, if you're starting out and you want to learn how to use Godot, he has a lot of in-depth tutorials, much better than mine. I believe he is a professional educator, so he teaches people for a job, and the YouTube thing is just extra. So I don't know if that's 100% true. I don't know him, but yeah. Yeah, I think he does sell a course, but I don't think you need. I never paid for his course. But I mean, only by my goofy ass struggling to figure out how to make a player face the mouse in 3D. Making the player face the mouse in 3D is really hard. So, you know, I understand. It can be really difficult. Do something. Godot is your first programming language? Well, that's good. It's a good language to learn, I think, as a beginner. It wasn't my first programming language, but it was the first one that I got good at. I would say that much, and it helped me sort of be able to learn. I would say like once you learn a language, you can pretty much learn anything. Like I've gone on to like, I do a bit of Python, I do a bit of Golang, or I have in the past, not recently. And I've also, I do a lot of JavaScript. Well, I haven't done that in a year either, but I do that for work because the program that we use at work uses JavaScript, not in to make websites, but to like automate things. So, you know, it's definitely helped me extend my ability to do things with code. That's for sure. So it's a great first language. Okay, I'm being a total noob and this isn't working and I've probably forgotten something. This is not firing because I'm not getting a printout for that. Right? I've had this problem before and I can't remember why. The last time I did it and it would not fire this signal. Path changed, target reached, waypoint reached, link reached, navigation finished. Start navigation. Is there like a function that I need to call to like get it to start working? I don't even know. Would I call myself a professional Godot scripter? No, not at all. No, I mean, I made a lot of tutorials, right? But that's sort of just how you, like, if you want to do YouTube, well, if you want to do Godot YouTube, like basically making tutorials is something that you end up doing inevitably. But like, I mean, I just do this for fun. And now I've sort of switched to streaming because like making tutorials is really hard and streaming's way easier. Okay, I'm going to cheat. I'm going to look at my old project because I don't know. I've forgotten everything. It do be like that sometimes. I just quit the project list. I don't even know if it's going to be in here because this is a completely, yep, there it is. Okay. Alrighty, so let's look at what I'm trying to get to as the baseline. This is sort of like my playground where I just make stuff. How long do you think it would take you to finish this template? Oh man, it's going to take me ages. I spent a year on the FPS one. I am Russian beginning programming on GDScript. I'm learning on your videos. Thank you. No worries. Famous Unshane. Yeah, it'll take me ages to make an enemy AI that I'm happy with. This isn't loading. What's it doing? It's coming from the NAS, so maybe it's not going to load that quickly. Ages. Where's my project? Here comes the vibes. Hey, how's it going, Vibing Game Dev? good luck. I had a lot of trouble implementing AI and an AI that could open doors. Oh, Rocky, it's going to be weeks. Only game devs create their own enemies in... That is true, Mr. Forgettable. We are our own enemies. Okay, I don't know what's going on here. Development projects. I don't know, Godot. I might have to bring this down to the local because it's not reading it. Oh, it's a big file. That's probably why. God damn. The network's slow tonight. Are we going okay? We do create our own enemies. We are our own enemies. God damn, look how slow it's transferring from the NAS. Okay, it's picking up now. By the time this is finished transferring, it's going to open up in this screen here. Oh, there. Yep, there it is. Okay, we're back. How much of it is completed? Oh, basically nothing. I'm starting from scratch, and I can't even remember how to set up a navigation agent properly. So we have a test level here where I've got some enemies floating around where I'm not 100%, I don't hate the way they behave. Their pathfinding sucks. They don't look good. Is that nav mesh is very important, and fiddling around with the cell size and cell height. Oh yeah. Yeah. Well, doors, I don't know if that'll be a part of it. I might leave that up to the user. Okay. So where the heck? Levels test world? This is it. So these are my enemies. How are they set up? They are within the navigation mesh. Yeah, doors are really hard. I do sliding doors. Like, why else? Why would you do I publish? Yeah, it just gets automatically converted to a VOD. And like, if I think it's worth cutting it up into a shorter video, I will. But it probably won't get cut up into something shorter because I don't know if I'm going to achieve anything. Okay, so we've got so many scripts open, man. There's a state machine that essentially controls the nav mesh here. So we've got the navigation agent that we have access to. And what do we do in the patrol? So we get the new velocity, navigation agent dot velocity equals new velocity. Oh, okay. We just take that directly from the navigation agent, go to new target on navigation, move safe velocity. Interesting. I'm not setting a velocity. Is that what the problem is? Sets the new wanted velocity for the agent. The avoidance simulation, that's so dumb. Could you imagine I spent all this time? Why wouldn't it move? It needs the velocity. I'm currently using hinge points with jolt fuzz. Yeah, Godot physics does suck, but if I was going to make a door, I don't know if I'd do it with physics. I'd probably just animate a static mesh. Call move and slide in the velocity computed signal. Oh, very smart. I didn't even think to do that. I would still need to set a velocity for the navigation agent, right? Ugh, close the emails. We don't want to hear about those. Okay. That's how you do it. Okay, I'm just a dum-dum. Because that's not how I do it. Check this. You got a link for me? Because the way I did it here is that I set the velocity, but I send the safe velocity off to the enemy, and I'm calling move and slide, right? But I'm getting the I don't even actually know how I'm doing it. Change state, go to patrol, chase. Surely. Satoru Sensei, how's it going? This is the proper way to do it. Yeah, I believe you. I don't know what I'm doing, so I have no choice but to believe you. It's just funny because I didn't do it that way in the past. So I'm trying to work out what the heck I'm doing in this. Player vision. I'm not even calling anything on move. How am I doing this? Physics process. Process velocity equals velocity. Plus, oh yeah, okay. So I'm setting, once I'm emitting a signal back to the character body saying that the velocity is the velocity. So I'm setting it here. And then I'm calling move and slide on the first frame there. So apparently that's good enough to get it to work, but I like your idea too. I'm surprised they didn't have, like, in the docs, they didn't have like just a quick snip of like a quick setup, you know? Path distance. I probably did not read this properly. Anyway, well, might as well show you guys while I'm here in the test world. There's a proper way to do it. There is one. Should link it to me, man. It's probably going to run like shit because on the NAS. So here's my enemies, and they just like shoot at you if you're close enough. These are really, really basic. And if you go too far away, obviously they'll get closer to you. And then if you, they don't even really rotate that much. They can even, will they follow me? If you run too far away, they stop chasing you and start to look. Oh, they're right there. They don't realize they can't see me. But yeah, this is sort of at the very basic level. So I want to build up to something like this, but cleanly. Not in this project is too much of a mess. So I don't really want to take them from here. But this is what I'm going to try to build to begin with. And then I want to improve it because these guys are really shit. And they don't shoot very quickly. And they don't chase very well either. They just sort of follow you around. The lighting is nice. Oh, thank you. It's really basic. Just something to mess around in. So let's get out of here. And get back to the enemy AI template. Oof, is not happy. So you reckon call move and slide here? And the navigation agent has a velocity. Check the link. Is it Discord, is it? Godot. There's too much happening on the Discord. I can't see the link, sorry. Yeah, that's true. It might be doing that. The avoidance simulation try and fulfill this if possible, but we'll modify it to avoid collision with other agents. When an agent is teleported to a new position, set velocity is false. Yeah, that'd be great. Thank you. YouTube doesn't allow links in the chat. It does for me. General chat. Thank you. Thank you so much. Okay, physics process. So we've got the ready where we're setting the, we're connecting that. That's fine. The movement target, we're setting a position. That's easy. And in the physics process, we return out if the navigation is finished. We've got the path to position, which is the next position. I understand all this. And then we set the new velocity direction to path. Okay. And then if navigation agent dot avoidance enabled, then this set velocity, new velocity, else on computed, on velocity computed, linear velocity equals safe velocity. So this is for a rigid body. Is there a character body above this that I just like scrolled straight past? Okay, so they are doing velocity equals safe velocity move and slide. All right. Okay. But I still never set the velocity, but they only did that if it was avoidance enabled. But on velocity computed is a function that I have not called. Okay, they're just passing in the velocity, which is this, direction 2 times movement speed. So, okay, I see. I understand. Thank you so much for sending that to me. I'll just take that. Yeah, I guess I must have, because if I don't have avoidance ticked, then this whole like thing is gonna not work. Yeah, okay, that makes sense. So we got new velocity, and it wants direction 2 next. I probably need to take more than just that one. Where is my browser? Not that one. This one. Navigation. This one here. Why don't we just copy the entire lot? It's fine. Okay, but I haven't called my navigation agent, but I can. That's still not happy. That changes to this. This actually needs to go. This needs to go. And then this, get random point. Okay, well, we'll look at that in a second. Godot docs is so helpful, but only for people who have extreme comprehensive skills. Yeah, I do struggle like sitting down and actually, I just skim them unless I'm really stuck. I definitely am not much of a reader. Okay, this function doesn't exist. This is the function we want. And the identifier movement speed is not directed. That's okay. I've got a function here called speed. Not a function, a constant. Okay, so here we are. We've done everything here. Let's just double check everything. So the new velocity, global position, direction to new path, get direction to next path position, navigation, get next path. So on timer timeout. So if we just give the target position always, which is just random at this point, that's fine. That'll just work. I don't see why this wouldn't just work off the bat. What have we got here? Unused variable target is declared but not used in the scope. Get random point. Oh yeah, I'm so fucking dumb. Anyway. Oh, that's so silly. Okay. Let's see what happens. He's going. He's no longer affected by gravity. And he's just in the corner. He won't ever reach his position because it's outside of the game world. Idiot. Yeah, it was more just to make sure that I can actually see it working, if that makes sense. So it was like, I just needed to go somewhere. I've done it before with... give him some time to settle. That's not because of gravity. No, it's not. It's because the navigation path is too high, right? The offset property in the nav agent node. Yes, that's it. Path height offset. Desired distance, max distance. If I make this smaller, will it go away? Yeah, I don't know. I have fixed this before. to 0.1. Oh. Target design distance. Make it positive. It's a problem because I'm not normally positive. I think it's also to do with it's subtracted. Oh. For some reason that feels like it'll be... Yeah, that's pretty good. It's always going to go to the corner. Okay. Yeah, that's nice. Great. Okay, so now we can move. So the question is just how we get the points, right? And setting up that behavior. So we're going to want a state machine. Why is he going into the corner? Because I'm getting a random point between 5 and 10. And it's literally just going to... It's always getting scared of something. Yeah, maybe. Yeah, it's just that point. I should make this like between -5 and 5. And I'm adding it to the position. If I really wanted this to be more like he just wanders around, I would stop adding it to the current position, because otherwise it's going to be like really weird. And you just make it like -5 and 5, and it'll just wander around the center of the map, wherever that is. I actually don't know. He always runs there. Yeah, well, random's not random. So even though I'm asking for random ranges, it's always going to be there every single time, unless I give it a different seed. What is his position? So if I make him 0, 0, and so now he can really just go between 5 and -5, right? Okay, so that's a little bit more reasonable. In theory, he should not be able to move past that point, but I mean, it's not that important. I'm going to change it in a second. I was just kind of curious. He's not rotating either, but we'll just worry about that later. Is he going to find another point? Hello? Nah, doesn't matter. Anyway, let's move on to the next stage. Godot 4.3 has new functions that return a random point in nav mesh. That is very exciting because, I mean, I think it's pretty common to want your guy to have like some randomness to it, right? Okay, so we're going to need to set up a state machine to control whether or not he's moving, whether or not he's looking around, going to a... I think we're going to need 2 state machines, one for behavior, one for actual movement. The movement itself, basic, right? Because realistically, we just want to give him a point to go. So maybe I don't need a state machine for movement. Depends. If we give him the ability to jump, what does he do? Is gravity affected by all this? Like, what happens if I put him up really high? I'm kind of curious. Does he just slowly float down? I imagine so, right? Yeah, he just comes down on his own. So gravity isn't going to affect him. Because I guess... I actually don't know why that is the case. You have a smooth look function? Send it to me. I have a function, but it's not that great. I have a really basic one. Like I said, I don't make AI. Yep. Smooth look at. And then you put the position and the smoothness. Oh, that's nice function, bro. Then you just slap that in here. It wants all the variables. Oh, okay. Good old paste bin. Is there a hotkey for that? I feel like there should be. Oh, that's it. The best I can do is basically a Goomba. Yeah, literally. It's I normally just go rotate. This is a cool function. Call it with get next path position and a smoothness is multiplied. Okay, because the position is the... So I just go like... I could just pass in this variable, right? and smoothness. Should this just be 1? Or delta, you said? Is multiplied by delta. Do I pass in delta? Or? Yeah, just pass it over. Cool, cool, cool. Ooh. He's not rotating. Whoa. All right, mate. Why not? It's because it's too small, right? Don't pass delta. What's a good number? Just 1? Nice, 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 nice. Set it to like 10. Okay. Dude, that's so cool. Oh, I've lost it in. There it is there. Thank you so much. I'm going to bring him back down to the ground. I always had trouble getting it to rotate. So I'd get it, I could rotate it left or right, but then when it turned fully around, it would, if it went too far, it would turn back on itself. I think that's a common problem. I just never looked into it that closely, if that makes sense. Oh, you're looking, look at. Basis dot looking at. Nice, looking at. Basis dot looking at. Interesting. I've never seen that function before. This guy is the real pro, not me. Yeah, that won't happen. I imagine you're better than that. Way better than me. Physics process time delta. Oh, so that's where the delta comes in. Dude, that's awesome. Okie dokie. So, let's add a state machine. Or do we want to give it the ability to shoot? What's next? Should it be able to find the... It's like lookat, but returns the lookat transform and then interpolates between the current rotation. That's really cool. That's really smart. Mr. JSHZK, thank you so much. Hey, morning, Ricardo. Ricky Ricardo, how are you? Smoothness at like 5. Yeah, okay, cool. Okay, let's add a node. State machine. I still can't decide whether or not I think I need a movement state machine or just like behaviors. Because we can just pass a point, like either it's, we'll work on jumping later. Like, I don't need that, you know? So we're going to be able to make it shoot. And then we need to be able to make it chase the player. So player detection is something we don't have at the moment, which is really easy to achieve, to be honest. We could just give it an area 3D. And if the player's in that, then they've triggered the enemy. So what I normally do is, well, what I've done for my other particular project, I've got an area 3D, which I use as sort of like the initial, use the state charts plugin, and character body script calls the move function. It doesn't have any logic itself. That's interesting. I've never used the states chart plugin. Is it good? I just do like the basic nodes. Doesn't have any logic itself. That's cool. And so the area entered just gets flicked up to the enemy. And it can scan layer 2 because that's the player layer. Yeah, it's a pain in the ass. I have like a template that I just copy across for every project. And then once it's set up, it's good. Good to go. But I'm still like, I can't work out. I think I'm going to need 2 for the enemy, because 1 to control what it does. Because I always have, like, I've done a lot of state machines for players, but the you only need to get the state machine for the movement most of the time. My weapons are controlled by a state machine, kind of, but not really. And then, you know, you're jumping, you're moving, you're crouching, or whatever. But for an enemy, you also have essentially to give it inputs to tell it what to do. In theory, I've never done it before, but okay. So we need a collision shape. Let's get this bad boy shooting at the player, and then we'll worry about complicating it up a bit. It needs a shape. Make it a cylinder. And so basically what I like to do essentially is just use this as a trigger point. So once you're inside this space, the enemy can theoretically see you. But after that, we'll just use raycasts. Probably. I mean, we'll have a reference to the player, so it'll be easier. We won't need to. Trigger zone. It's monitoring. Is it monitorable? I don't know. It doesn't care. I don't care. It doesn't matter too much. I want to change the name of that. Disconnect. Keep clicking cancel. Okay. That's area. I don't care about area. My bad. Delete. We want body entered so that we can get a reference to the player. So let's just double check the player character, and it is definitely on layer 2. So that's the one that we want to use. I might give it a name. The physics layer names. Here we go. 3D physics world player. Just so I remember. And then we'll have a variable called player, lowercase. And we'll make it equal to null to begin with. And we can just test for that. And then once this is in, we can say body equals player. Player equals body, I should say. And then we will have a reference to it. And then if we want to just be real basic, you have paste bins for everything. For a function I use to check if the enemy sees the player. Do you just use raycasts? I've thought about it, but to me it just seems way simpler to have an area 3D that is sort of the initial point of the enemy. So at least this is my rationale. Obviously, like I said, I've never really designed enemies before. The area 3D is sort of like the starting point, and then after that, we can just check its position, whether or not you're even looking at it, all that kind of stuff. Because you can just use the dot product or whatever. I forget, there's a function you can use. To find out if the player is facing, or not the player, the enemy. If the enemy is facing the player, it's pretty straightforward, right? But see it? I'm not checking Discord, am I? Scene state, game states. I see what you're doing there. Dude, what are these advertisements? Bro, about to get me banned. Yeah, so it's the dot product, essentially. This is some really good code here. Forward vector, global position, direction to global position. Okay. And then you do the dot product. Visible notifier is on screen. Interesting. Scene states in field of view, out of field of view, not seen. Okay, that's cool. That's cool. I like your thinking. I'm probably going to do something pretty similar. It won't be that good, but it's a starting point. How big do we want this to be? That's probably too big to begin with. This is a small area. Let's just make it smaller so it's easier to test. What have we got in the debugger? Is inside tree. Okay, that's fine. Alrighty. So once we are in the area, we need to trigger a watching for. So basically what I like to do is essentially once you're within that area, that sort of that checking for whether or not you could be seen becomes active. And this, I feel like should be a part of a behavior state machine, but I don't really want to do it. Do you ever get that feeling? So well, let's just see if we can get it chase the player for fun. Where are we getting? So at the moment, we're just like setting a random point, get random point, and that's on a timer, but let's turn that off. Disconnect. Just comment that out. And comment that out. Because it was kind of just for fun anyway. And also like this can all go. And okay, so now we don't have a position. So basically at the top of this, just for fun, if player, then direction to, what is it, navigation, agent position equals player dot global position. And now it should just chase the player around. Right? Yep. Leave me alone. Dude, he's fast. But you can't chase me here. Interesting to see what they do. So it goes, that's closer, so I'm going to follow you there. It's fairly interesting pathfinding. I guess it's pretty good. And I'll have to look at like making it have the ability to jump. But in theory, so I guess there's going to be a couple of things I want to check. Is that like if you're making an FPS and it's you're in a position you can't be reached, like this is actually perfectly fine, right? It's okay to send me stuff. It's helpful as well because like it's good to see what other people are thinking around this. This is actually like the best position for it to be in rather than on the ground because it can still shoot me. But, you know, that's logic we're going to need to check. My boy is fast. Okay, he chases me around. Let's have a look. NPC stairs. Yep. Enum states, scene states, movement states. Okay, so yeah, you're doing the same kind of thing that I'm talking about where you've got the movement state and then you've got the actual behavior state where yours is just seen, unseen. Movement definition. Yep, cool. All in one script. I almost never do it like that. But not that there's anything wrong with that. Move blend 2D. If not player return, yeah, okay, cool. Same kind of vibe. Super delta. No, I like it. I can't show it on screen because there's like literal not safe for work pictures on that website. Make it jump with navigation link. Okay, that's another thing I have to look into. Yeah, you set the movement state in the state machine, and then the behavior is like whatever. Now, in the past, what I've done is sort of, obviously it can chase the player, but if it's at a distance, sort of like, say you're at 5 meters from the player, you should just not. So you can say like, if distance global position, I can type dot distance to player.global position is less than, let's make it 10, then return. Basically don't actually keep going because you're too close. Probably not something I want to be calling the physics process, but it's just for testing. I also want a variable for max distance, rather min distance, I should say. And it's an int that's equal to 10 for now. That's right. And we can just put that there. I've got it round the wrong way. Famous last words. Yeah, we're just messing around. Can I even get away from this guy? He's way too quick. Dude, he won't leave me alone. He's worse than the stalker I had in high school. Okay. And then I guess if I get close, it'll chase again. Yes. Oop, oop. Oh, is that actually something that you can fix? Editor completion? Pass delay. Change oh shit, closed it. I've always wondered, I've always thought that Godot just had really slow parsing, but it just turns out the default is slow. Who would have thought? And complete delay to 0.1. The amount of time that I've sat there trying to get things like to accept what I've written. So I don't need to print off. There's a velocity. We know that works now. Okay, I'm going to change this to 5 because I cannot escape this guy. And let's slow him down a little bit too. The default sucks. Yeah, what the hell? I never would have expected it to be so low. Oh well. It's crazy. Okay, let's get this guy shooting bullets so that we can get sort of a very basic enemy happening here. Not something you'd want to ship, but something that you can call an enemy just so that we know what it looks like. Just write, the default sucks, just write something to check the difference. Oh yeah. Nice. Why do they do that? Is it just for like old computers or something? Don't know. It's very strange. You have no idea, yeah. I didn't even know it existed before that. I don't think many people would know that that exists. Someone should make content and tell people that it exists. I'll turn this into a short. And let like 500 people know, because not many people watch them. Okay, so now we know, okay, so we don't have a state machine, but we're sort of just doing this on the process function. The global position distance to, this is the point where we want to actually shoot something. So we need to fire some bullets. How to make Godot faster 100 times in 10 seconds. I mean, honestly, it could just be something like, did you know that you can make the code completion faster in Godot? Go to the editor settings, look for completion under text editor, and change the pass delay to 0.5 seconds. There you go. That's the video. I'll post it tomorrow. Now your code completion is 10 times faster. I don't have a good YouTube voice, I don't think. I need to study Mr. Beast. Start yelling into the microphone. Okay. So how do we shoot? We need a bullet. What do we want to shoot? Just a ball. It can be nothing and anything really. It's going to be a rigid body. That's fine. We'll give it a mesh instance. Just make it like a gray ball. It's way too big. Go back. Just halve it. Enemy bullet. No gravity. Negative gravity? 0. That's fine. Mass is fine. Give it a save. It doesn't have a collision shape yet. Give it a collision shape. Well, okay. Excuse me. Is snapping turned on? No? Alright. That's fine. Now, we just need to come into the script, make it a preload, so that we can shoot it. Start using the O face. You say that, Ricky, right? You say that, but the other day I went and I took a bunch of photos. Well, I didn't take a bunch of photos. I filmed myself. And you can even see it saved here. Soy faces. Because I knew that I wanted to start using my face in flipping thumbnails, right? And I do have some that are like, nav is already snapped to the floor. I don't think, I think I took that out. So I've got some like mega soy, point to the side, mega soy. They're ready to go. I just need to have the right situation. Soy classic. Oh my God. And I like really, this is true soy. What is going on there? I hate it. I hate it so much, but I think it gets clicks. I don't know. I'm just testing it out. We'll see. I'm not like super attached to it. I've never used my face before. All right. Thank you so much, Mr. JSHZK. I don't know how to pronounce your YouTube handle, but you've been really helpful. So I really appreciate that. But yeah, I hate using the face, but I think the reason I decided to start using it is because I was posting a lot of shorts, and in all of those shorts I have my face. And so like if you've only seen the shorts, then I think you need to see my face on the thumbnail to click it. I don't know. That's my rationality. Anyway, I think it's a good idea. Yeah, I think it's probably, it makes the most sense because I'm trying to like, essentially like I was posting Godot tutorials and like other Godot related content, but the driver for that was normally the subject matter. But now it's like, while I'm streaming and posting shorts and the occasional long form video, like the new viewers are going to need to see and know who I am, I guess. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see if the gamble pays off. I'm calling it the pirate software meta. That's what I've called it. I coined it. Although I'm pretty sure it's like pretty universally used amongst streamers. Okay, we can just underscore that. Let's get this guy shooting bullets. Enemy bullet. Okay, so we can start just shooting bullets. And then we'll pass in a target, which will be a vector 3. I think I've already got a target point. Okay, that's fine. Oh my god. I cannot hit my keyboard. Yeah. We'll see. I haven't posted a video, like a long form video with one in it. I've got one coming out on Friday, but I don't have like high hopes for it to have like a good click through because it's very niche, but it's there. But we'll see. Target is a vector 3. I personally don't understand it because it's not really something that I look for when I watch a YouTube video. But like I'm old, so maybe it's a young thing. Okay. So, instant 1 mil views. No, it won't be like that. If I got 1 million views, it'd be like so crazy. It'd be life changing. Shoot bullet. Var. Well, actually, I mean, to be honest, like 1 million views is like, you don't even get that much money. Like for me, I think it would be about, like if I got with the same like money that YouTube pays me, I'd probably make like $2,000, which is good. Like that's nice, but it's not like, you know, I could go buy something nice. If you had a million views every day, then obviously you're making some serious cash, but a one-off isn't going to cut it. On a short that's like $150, I'd still be happy with that. I can't even achieve that. I think the most I've gotten on a short is 10,000. But we'll see. We'll keep working at it. It's a work in progress. It's also like I have a job, so it's okay. It's just for fun. Shoot bullets. It's so I get to talk with people while I code. Well, I mean, I don't know. It is now because something I realized when I was making just long form content, I was always making Godot related content, but never actually working on projects. So now I'm going to try to work on projects while I make content. Five Guys instead of McDonald's. Yeah, I don't even eat out. I don't know what I'd do. I guess I would just pay off my mortgage. Well, I wouldn't pay off my mortgage. It would just go towards my mortgage. That'd be nice. Okay, so we got a target. We want to spawn the bullet at the bullet point. I've done this a million times. It should be something that I can do with my eyes closed. I hate that down there. What am I doing? Let's focus. Okay. Let's go. So we want to var bullet equals enemy bullet dot instantiate. Oh my god, this is so much quicker. And then we want to add a child. Bullet point dot add child bullet. And then we want to say that the direction equals I have done what I do is normally like shorter games, like game jam kind of games. And then beyond that, no, I don't really have plans to make like a full project, like a 5-year, 10-year project. I don't really have anything like that because in my mind, it's like, I'm not the kind of person that can commit to that. So it's either going to be short games or I just make templates and stuff. And then maybe one day, I think it just depends on your personality, right? Like I'm probably better suited to be working with people to make something that, someone else is driving that and I can work with them. I could do that very easily. But Godot is not an engine where you could have a job like that. And I already have a career, so you're 6 years into your game. See, that's dedication that I would get distracted. I would just want to do something else. And, I think because like if I wanted to like the game that I would make, it would be something like story based, I think. And then like, I'm not a good writer and it would take a long time to make and I don't have the funds to like properly do it. It would be a really big commitment. And so 6 years is such a long time. I mean, that's good though. Is it close? You should share. You got a page, I'd love to see it. Global position, direction 2. The player dot. Global position. Oh, x.com. Okay, sorry. I thought that was a different kind of website for a second. Oh, I think I've seen this. Oh, well, you did say I followed you, right? It actually looks like, physics is always the best, right? Go full screen to see. Okay, color coded. It's got juice and everything. So it's just a little mobile platformer. Oh, that's cool. And you use the swiping to actually control it. I think that's really fun because I hate mobile games for the same reason that 6 months, yeah. 6 months is a good time frame. But like I really like this. Any game with clouds. I love the controlling, like the drawing on the screen, because I think like traditional controls just don't really work that well for mobile. So like doing this is really cool. So do you draw shapes? On color-coded joystick, green means successful gesture and red means no go. Okay, cool. That's really cool. Nice. Macatap on Twitter, everybody. Not yours, though. Okay, so we've got the direction, and now we can just go bullet dot impulse, right? Apply impulse. Or set linear velocity. We'll go with apply impulse. And then it'll just be direction times like 5, I guess. And then I want to put a timer on that. Wait, dot get tree dot create timer. And I'll make it like 2 seconds, and we'll just go timeout, something basic. And then if is this, we time to shoot. And the target is the player. Okay. Hey Gonzalo, how are you? Will you shoot at me? Oh, whoa, okay, yes. Oh my God. What is going on? Oh, they're not. I forgot to set them as, holy shit. This game is going to crash. Oh my God. So the problem here is that they're not set as, what's the word? They're not set as transform top level, number 1. Oh, okay, it's going to crash. They're not set at top level. The swarm, holy crap. That was insane. And yeah, okay, so this is around the wrong way. Have I participated in a game jam before? Yeah, I absolutely have. I've done quite a few, actually. I haven't signed into Itch on this PC yet. Let's have a look. Well then. I don't even know my own handle, if that's even the right handle to make. Yes. Here we go. Look. Okay, so I got the Fox. That was a really popular one. Inky's Connection. I don't think that works anymore. And Deadly Lens, that was really popular. I probably should have kept working on that. In Parallel is okay. And I think that was the last one I made. And the rest has just been templates and you guys want some retro sounds? I'm selling those too. Top level. Yeah, Kevin, that is what I needed to put there. Is this going to like cause some sound issues? I'm going to drop my desktop audio. I'm a bit worried about this. This is the last game I made. It was about a year ago, I think. It was a 2D platformer for the 64 pixel jam. I forget the name of the jam. I'll check it after this. So basically, you could only make a game in 64 by 64. And I decided to make like a little mini Metroidvania. Oop. Okay. New, I guess. I don't know the buttons. Okay. And it's like, how do you fit all of this stuff on... Yeah, pick 08. I think probably... Yeah, you just do this with Godot. Guess it's C to jump. Yeah, I even made cards. Look at the pixel snapping. It's pretty bad. But like the dude's arms are like 2 pixels. It was really hard to do. And I think like if I had to look at this as a design issue, the issue is like the world blends very closely in with the trees behind it. So that's pretty hard to read like where everything is. So I don't know, you're supposed to be like an electrician that's trying to repair a tower, but you get lost. And now you're in the underworld. Oh, thank you for sharing that. It's chefmere.itch.io. And now I can dash. The sounds. And there's like blobs. And They literally just chase you. That's all they do. The AI on this is really bad. Dude, where's my car? The controls are really bad. I cannot do this. Do I have a wall jump? No, I don't. Oh no! I'm gonna die. How do I get up? There we go. Dude, well, actually what? Oh, you can do a diagonal. Right, I got that. I got this. There we go. I worked it out. And there's a boss. Dude, that's... Oh, the reset point was down here. Ouch. Oh, man, I'm going to get another game over. Just... Holy shit. I can't get up there. No wonder no one played this game. This one's like bright red for some reason. Kill him. Yeah, I don't think it's supposed to be like that, but I guess it's just I ran out of time, and this is a boss battle. And oh man, I already got game over. It literally all you have to do, like it just jumps backwards and forwards. There's like once again, there's no AI. It just all it does is it bounces around. It like knows where you are, and then it'll stop and you can hit it. Ouch. But you can pin it against the wall and it won't do anything. And then it's dead. And then we're transported back into the main world. And we can climb now. Game jams are like pretty good. I think you don't need... The trick is to not worry too much about it because... okay, we can wall jump now. Like you can just make something really simple, and if it's not good, then it's fine. Like that's the whole point. I'm meant to fall down that hole. The level's changed. I don't even remember. Ugh. Brutal. The reset over that was so crazy too. What was I thinking? Ugh, dude, this game's hard. Am I gonna be safe? Okay, we're back at the car. And then you're supposed to keep going, basically. Because your whole thing was like you couldn't get over the gap that was after this house. Like it was not passable before you'd gone through all of that. Yeah, you learn a lot. I think it's really cool to learn about like how like the whole thing is made. Because you can sit there and make little things. But if you want to really know about all the different things you have to do, then a game jam is like a really fun way to do it. Because it's like, oh, I never put sound in anything, but then I put sound in this. Or you never do menus, or you never do certain other things. So it'll just give you like exposure to the entire workflow. And then that falls down when you get past a certain point. I think you can't go back. Although you can see the animation playing. And now it's like the boss fight. And it's just you. He's actually pretty scary, but like it's pretty bad. You can sort of wait for him to dash at you. If he dashes you, then you take damage. Ah, he got me. He's pretty difficult. Oh shit. I forgot he can jump too. Oh, I did it. How much code reuse is too much code reuse? I mean, it just depends, right? Like, I'd say whatever you feel comfortable with reusing, then that's fine. If it's your game, don't worry about it. In parallel. That was the last time I did enemies, and they were really, really basic. Okay, let's get back to this guy shooting me in my face. The enemy bullet will need a script. And what we will do is when it makes contact with the player, we'll just delete it. So we'll put it on we'll have it mask layer 2, and we'll set it up to be solver, continuous CD, a couple of contacts, that's fine, contact monitor. And on the node, we will do body entered. And we'll just delete ourselves after that. That's fine. Key free. Alrighty. So now, the other problem was I had set it up so that if he's greater than this, then to shoot. But actually, it has to be the other way around, because this is if you're too far away to stop following, right? So there needs to be like a max distance as well. And if you're within that, if you're less than the max distance, then you can shoot away. We'll just make it 6, something small. Otherwise, it'd be too hard to test. And we'll just copy this exact piece of code. And we'll say that if you are less than the max distance, then shoot. And it will be at the player. And then we can return out, because we don't actually want to keep chasing the player, because that's kind of annoying. Is that going to be working? Not really. I don't know my mins and maxes. If we're less than the max distance. Oh, here we go. He's shooting at me. Oh, wow. It's way more than I expected. I usually use my character. Oh, yeah. Okay. Ricky. Yeah. They don't normally, they'll make rules about like, sometimes they'll say use particular assets, or they'll say, you have to follow a certain set of guidelines. But like generally, I reuse all of the code that I do. So this was low res jam. So the rules if we have a look at the low res jam, I get 100th. Oof. So 10 themes are optional. When, where, what, how, what do I win? Extra resources. Is there a theme? Note on submission. I mean, they don't really seem to, they just want it to be 64 by 64. So the goal of the gem is to create a resolution of 64 by 64 less or less. You can use whatever program you want with no other restrictions on graphics. The world is your oyster as long as you stay in 64. Of course, your game can be scaled up or fit in a bigger window, but the view of the game must remain 64. But that's it. My character code. Your character code is 2,000 lines. That does seem like a lot, but if it works, right? Like, there's like you know, it's however you want it to be, right? If that's okay with you, then that's fine. What's coming up? Also, why is this in light mode? It's killing my eyes. GBA Jam 2024. That sounds like fun. Full scale GBA game jam is back after a 2-year hiatus. 3 months to make something cool that runs on a Game Boy Advance using whatever tools you like. And they've got like, oh yeah, I do game jams all the time and then never end up submitting. Like the project that I was demonstrating before, quit to project list. Whoa. Whoops. Get repos, Godot, FPS. It's called Eldritch Titan because that was the theme of the game jam. But this is a game jam that I started and never finished. And now it's just a playground of different projects, of like different things that I want to do in a game, you know? So it's not even going to load. It's too slow. So yeah, if I start jams all the time and then never finish them. I've also done them specifically with the idea of making content and then never made videos about them as well. So like, go figure. So this was meant to be a horror game. That was like the theme. I think it was called the Horror Jam. It was about a month to make a game. And I was going to make like a horror FPS. I never got past the level making. I have a hard time building 3D environments. And so when I got to that point of the game jam, I got overwhelmed and I stopped doing it. Soundtrack OST game jam coming up. That does sound like fun. Do you just have to make like a one piece of music? I can make some music. I like making music. Okay. How did I even do the environment? I use Blender, and then yeah, I think I use Blender. The project won't be here because it was on my other computer. So, but yeah, it was outside. Can you view 3D projects? I think I turned off the 3D viewer. Actually, no, it does work. How cool is that? It actually looks so weird in the basic 3D viewer. Light rotation. So it's supposed to be like ice, right? Like, obviously you can't see that. Like, here's like a look behind what this was meant to be, right? So it's just meant to be like in Glacier, right? So from the camera perspective, you're sort of looking here, but realistically, this is just a torus, like in Blender, and I just put a modifier on it to make it like crunchy, and then gave it like an ice material. Vitor says, I'm working on the 3D model of the main character of my game. I used Godot and I did a test project and I found it quite easy and quick to get the results, but I'm still skeptical about Godot. I guess it just depends on what you're trying to do. It's a very capable engine. So it can do a lot. I think probably the difficulty is the resources, and potentially it depends if you wanted to make like a large open world, then it might be a bit more difficult. But if you're just doing like a 3D platformer, it's no problem. It's just a donut. So everything in Blender is a donut at the end of the day, including the ice around my level. So yeah, I just put a torus down and gave it a material, morphed it a little bit so it didn't look so round. And then like from the player's perspective, it looks okay. I'm not going to say that it's a good environment, but you know, it was good enough for a jam. I put it together in like a day. But yeah, the internals was the thing that I was really struggling with. I couldn't do it. And then in the end, I just gave up. But that's okay. Sometimes it'd be like that. Okay, if I need to really think about what I'm writing here. If the global position distance to player.global position, so if the distance is less than the max distance, then we shoot. Right, but if it's, okay, that makes sense. And then if we're over the max distance, we chase. If we're less than the min distance, we give up altogether. I have a problem with this though, because this minimum distance is too low. My game works out because it's a space building game in space. So no environment, yeah. Godot is fun to use. For a small game jam, it is the best. I agree. Yeah, it's perfect for that. I don't know. I've never used it to make a big game, so I couldn't say. But, you know. You're not going to chase me. You're just going to shoot at me, aren't you? Oh, yeah. Here we go. And now he chases. Does he still shoot? Boom. Okay, and he gets close enough and he just unloads on me. Non-stop. And that is because I'm calling this in the process function, which is probably not that smart to do. It's not even going to get stopped by the await, really, because we're just going to we're going to call it a bunch of times, and it's going to take 2 seconds for it to start, and then it's just going to go, right? So we probably, I mean, it needs to be in a state machine at this point, but that's sort of your basic. I wonder if I can just clean that up so they can get like a basic view. You could also use target desired distance. Yeah, I'll work on this. This is all just placeholder at the moment, because I think I'm going to use a state machine to control all this stuff. I just wanted to see it. So the shoot bullet is an issue. I think what I need to do is set a variable to true when the enemy tries to gain distance. Yeah, there's going to be a lot that I need to change with this. So not shoot bullet, but can shoot, rather, is equal to false. Let's do it properly. That's not how it goes. It's a bool and it's equal to false. Okay, and then we're just going to set shoot to true. That is not even it. Can shoot equals true. And man, I hate working in process. So shoot is true. And then what am I going to do? I'm going to create like a timer. Probably a timer. I've got a timer here. Actually, these timers are a lot easier to control. So now we make this 2 seconds. What have we called it? It's just called timer. Actually, yeah, this whole thing is going to work better if I just use a timer. Shoot bullet. And then here, rather than just creating an await, I can go if timer. Do I have a reference to it? I don't. Call this shoot timer. And pull it in. So then we can go if shoot timer dot is stopped, then shoot timer start. And on the timeout, we will do this, right? And so rather than shoot bullet. It's not confusing at all. Start. Change it. And it's a problem. Okay. I'm gonna think about this through a second because now it's not gonna work. So we're gonna start the timer on timer timeout, but I wasn't even using the target, so that's fine. Apparently. I'm just getting the player. So that's me being silly. We don't need that. And so now every time the timer times out, we will shoot. If it's stopped, we start it. But other than that, we don't do anything. So that should stop us from shooting bullets uncontrollably. What's the timer on that? It's 2 seconds. That's fine. And then we go. If we make it to here, we can just go shoot timer dot stop, right? Because we're actually pursuing. Okay, that should work. Shoot me. Okay, that's much better. Okay. He turns very slowly. Bit of a bug. You know what it is? It's because I am not calling this, and this should really just be right at the top, and we can just pass in the player.global position, and we only do that if we know where the player is. Make this 5 so that he turns a bit faster. All right. Oh. On base nil, the player doesn't exist. I need to put some safety in there. Because now he shoots me. And he should keep looking at me no matter what. And if I go too far away, he will pursue me. And when he gets close enough, he starts to shoot, which is your very, very basic enemy, right? He's going to chase you down and then shoot you. And I don't really take damage, and neither does he, but he will soon. Well, that was a fun little learning experience. Still got to make this rocket launcher. I'm really happy with how it turned out. It feels nice, but it just needs a little bit more. Well, it needs juice to give it like a more solid feeling. Alrighty. Oh, that one almost went on top of the thingo. Explosions and muzzle flashes. Yeah, it needs all of that stuff. You can't catch me. Is he going to shoot? Or am I too far away? He's fine with that. He'll just shoot me. Easy peasy. Okay, we've done it. We've managed to create an incredibly basic AI, and it's a good starting point as a way to learn. We've got the navigation working at a very basic level with the help of Mr. JSHZK, of course, with his wonderful, wonderful smooth, where is it going? Smooth look function, making the character look really nice and smooth and helping me sort of understand exactly how I'm supposed to make the navigation mesh work, because I actually didn't know. Well, it'd just been a while since I'd done it. So yeah, good stream overall. We made some good progress. Alrighty. What am I gonna say? Where's the chat? Where's the chat at? Where's my flipping? I had to close Firefox is running so slowly. I don't know what's going on. Check this out. It's like try to open a tab. I click it and then it opens. It's like, for real? Is it slow here too? It seems to be working okay. I don't know what's going on with that. Oh, Ricky, you need to check the VOD, and this function here. I mean, it's on screen now. Mr. JSHZK. I don't know how to say his name. Josh Zach. I don't know. Josh ZK. JSHZK gave me this in a paste bin. It's on the Discord as well, and it is such a good smooth turn function. This guy should be making videos, not me. Seriously. Oh my god. Oh my god, the lag is real on Firefox. I cannot get anything done. I'm going to have to stop using it if it does this. Okay, I have a request. For the YouTube people, if you could do me a favor. I don't know how many people are in the stream. We got 7. If you could do me a favor, I don't know if this is against the terms of service, so I might get in trouble for this. If you could do me a favor and follow me on Twitch, that would be incredibly helpful. I'm trying to make it to 50 followers so I can get partnered there as well. And anyone in the Twitch chat, if you're not following, it would be great if you did. We're almost there, about halfway. I think we're going to call it a night, and we'll be back on Saturday to do some more of this. I guess I'll keep going with it. I really want to make an enemy AI that's good, because it's been something that I've been putting off for like 3 years or more, realistically. So this is a good starting point. We're going to need to set up state machines for sure. I mentioned on stream, I think it was last time, I had this grand idea for like a top level node that knew about all the enemies and where they were, and it would give them commands. So, I mean, pie in the sky. If I could make a system that did that, that would be great. But if you guys haven't worked out yet, I'm not exactly the best coder when I'm just doing it in my free time. When I make videos, I make sure it's good. But when we're streaming, it's a bit messy. We'll clean it up and we'll probably turn it into something. And then maybe if I'm happy with it, we can turn it into like a full tutorial. But I'm going to keep working on it. Other than that, guys, it's been a good one. What should we play out on? I like hospitals. It's very short. What do we feel like? Life carries on? Life does carry on in the face of it all? I don't know. Oh, yeah, that sounds good. I would share the Discord link, but Firefox is screwed and I'm not signed in on Brave, so join the Discord, all that kind of stuff. I don't even know if you can. Oh, actually, I'm signed in on Brave. YouTube Studio. Whoa, don't want to show that on screen. Whoa. That was a close one. Okay, now I can go to the chat and I can go this. Join the Discord, guys. I like hospitals, said no one ever. For a simple and smooth look, you could have a Node 3D loop. Yes, I've done that before too, Kevin. I don't think the song's called I Like Hospitals. It's just called Hospitals. It's about being in one. Well, I took the vocals out of all of these because, like, I can't sing. And you wouldn't want to hear them anyway. But I did like this song. I like the melody. It's one of my favorites, but I was never able to turn it into actually something good. Alrighty, guys. Ending soon. That's the one we want. A big shout out to my Patreons over on patreon.com/shaftgames. Those guys are the best. I still haven't made an end screen for them. I'm sure I've got them here somewhere. Development projects. Probably video projects. Date modified. We'll go with P for Patreon. Shout out number 5. I'll show it in paint. Massive thanks for these guys for supporting me. If you ever feel like supporting me, you can jump over to patreon.com/shaftgames. The main draw is obviously you get the FPS template for free, and which comes with a rig, but also you get my time, so you can reach out to me on the private channels and we can talk about code. Although maybe you might not want to after watching these streams. I don't know, but I'm there. That's the biggest draw. I'll see you guys next time.